7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, Mr. Mike. And what do we say to everybody? Oh, dear.
I've been possessed.
Well, on that note, folks, and Annabelle, welcome to another episode of Off the Cuff Paranormal with myself, Darryl, and Batman.
Myself,
Batman.
me, Mike, and Annabelle. Not her.
And well, we can't. Yeah, Annabelle.
There's a reason Annabelle's here, though. There's a reason.
There is a reason Annabelle is here. Hello, Amy. If Annabelle's our guest, she better start talking. We got Annabelle. We got Annabelle to help support that. Yeah, that'll be flashing up every once in a while tonight. It was so cute. If you actually look at it, its little paws are going. It's hilarious. Hey, Karen. Hi. How you doing? Okay, so Mike, this is the second show of guests that we get to drill.
Yeah, this is, I'm really not looking forward to when it's our turn because it could go one of a million different ways, but I'm really excited about our guest for today. Not that I wasn't excited about our guest last time because Amy was awesome.
Oh, yeah, she was awesome. I'm just wondering, who the hell, who's going to interview us?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll put names in a hat and someone will have to draw a name.
All right. Well, folks, Mike, I'll let you introduce our guest tonight while I pull up my questions.
Well, the reason that Annabelle is here, again, those of you that have been following along with us for a long time, remember that we went on a road trip last year, and Annabelle was sticking out the roof of the car as we drove through Kelowna. So, what better guest to have on the show is our good friend Kay from Kelowna.
That is correct. Let me just add Kay to the stream. There she is. Hello, Kay. We can't hear you.
Elbows.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, I thought you were saying you needed deodorant.
Oh, yes. We were like, what? Like, what do you need? Oh, no, that's not it. No bugs under there. Oh, dear. Okay, welcome again to the show. It's our pleasure to have you on board, but this time we're not actually discussing one topic, are we, Mike?
No, you're not going to be an expert on this one, Kay. It's all about you. It's like when people ask you questions about you, you become the most unknowledgeable person. It's like, I don't know. You're amazing at research on historical and everything else, but then when it comes to asking questions about yourself, it's like, wow.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
What do you think?
I think, Mike, without further delay, we should get started into the grilling. I mean, the first questions.
I've been sat there. Well, I've been doing stuff all day, but going, what the hell are they going to ask me? What did they ask Amy? Can I remember that? Did I do that? What was this? What was that? what I wanted, you know those little things what we used to have, the little origami things, you know, where you'd pick a colour,
Yeah.
and then you'd spell it out, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Yeah.
The fortune tellers.
Yes.
yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
No, red. No. Oh, Lord.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So, Mike, I shall let you fire off your first question, sir.
You'll start
All
with
right.
the one.
Okay, so thank you to Chat GPT again for giving me all these questions, because otherwise I would never come up with any of these on my own. Maybe one or two, but what first sparked your interest in the paranormal?
It didn't. I have been interested in the paranormal ever since I was a tiny little girl, because the house that I actually grew up in had a presence. So it's always been part of my life.
Always been a part of your life. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay. Cool. My turn. When you started into the paranormal realm, did you feel, or did you already know, or were you surprised at how tied together the historical research that you have done over the last years, even for us and beyond, have tied in with the actual paranormal activity that is around?
Oh gosh, I mean, well, obviously I love researching, so that's always been my main focus. But when you actually, I want to use the phrase when everything comes to life, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When you actually research something and then you see that tying in with
Sorry.
That's all right.
Go ahead.
When you actually see that tying in with the locations that we're investigating or the claims that we're investigating, and you look at your research and it's, oh my God, you know, it's phenomenal. So from something I've always loved, which has been the research, to something which is now a passion, which is the investigations and the paranormal, and seeing those two interlinking, it's just, yeah, I mean, I'm in heaven.
No pun intended, right?
No
Yeah.
pun. Well, you put it down there.
Oh dear. All right. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Kay, what historical location, because I know you love history and everything, and doing your research, what historical location has fascinated you the most from any investigation that you've done?
Oh gosh. That's a tough one.
I figured it would be.
That's a tough one.
And we're just beginning.
Because I get so involved, as you know, I get so deep into these. I just do.
I'm just thinking of a certain binder of evidence.
I didn't think of about 5 binders of evidence.
I love Sandon.
Yeah.
I really did love Sandon, because that just wasn't one aspect, and we were just basically given one name, if you will, and that was Eric.
Yeah.
Right? Headless Eric. And it was, what the hell do we do with this? And I remember spending a whole Saturday. I spent 9 hours on the coroner's reports from BC, not just from Sandon, from BC. And
Yes.
I think it was about 9:30 at night. Darryl messaged me and he says, enough, stop. And I was, I just need to, and I actually found Headless Eric. And I think that was, to me, that was just, oh my God, it's taken me 9 hours.
And do you know why I said stop? Because my phone was going bling, 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 bling. So I knew she was busy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All right. Did that answer that question? I'm not quite sure.
I think it answered the question. I mean, Sandin is I think for all of us, it was really fascinating. But I know from your perspective, Kay, it was really emotional too, right? Like you were really invested in it emotionally after doing all that research. So, and we could all see it, right? So
Yeah.
I think that totally answers the question for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I actually went into newspaper reports and found obituaries and events that had happened. And it made it come to life. When we actually got there, it wasn't just a town anymore. It was a living, breathing town, even though there's nothing there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, so yeah, I just wasn't sure whether I cut into you and cut you off there on that answer. Okay, so actually, mine kind of, no, I wouldn't say it follows suit, but it's rather interesting. You're doing all this research, you do the investigations and whatnot. How have you found it? Now, this is going to be a good one. How do you find the approach to separating the urban myths and legends that are created around hauntings and stuff compared to the credible historical findings?
Sometimes I find it very annoying. No, I'll take that back. I find it exceptionally annoying. When people are telling you are you watching YouTube and you're seeing other investigations that have gone on there and their claims that this is happening and that's happening, and you're looking at your notes going, no, it's not. No, it didn't. And yet all this is being put out there as absolute fact. And for the most part, you can go in and you can just debunk it completely, within one sentence. So research to me is vital if you're going to get the facts right and do justice not only to the client, but perhaps to the spirit as well that's there.
So I don't mean to, I just need to follow up a little bit with that. So has there ever been a point where you found urban myth and legend actually, like, have you found something to back up urban myth and legend?
I think, yeah, I think in a lot of things, that's what the stuff I use. So I'll go in and I'll find all these myths, these legends, the folklore, and a lot of it I can debunk. But then when you find that one little thread, and you keep tugging at that one little thread and peeling back the layers on that onion, and you go, oh my God, it's actually true. Something in this is actually factual. That gives a whole different approach as well. Because I like to get to the actual fact of things. Is it real? Is it a myth? So when you've actually found something that has become this urban legend, we'd all love, like, say, Mothman, right? This urban legend, but can you imagine to actually find actual proof that that's all, like Bigfoot, the actual proof that's there. Yeah.
Get the actual hair with the DNA and yeah. Okay, that's cool. Mike.
So this kind of ties into my last question and what Darryl was just talking about. Have you ever uncovered a piece of history that changed the way people viewed a supposedly haunted location?
That's difficult to say because technically it's only been within the group
Yeah.
and perhaps the clients.
But even like, has it changed the client's view of their where they are, right? Like that sort of thing. Do you think that you've uncovered anything where they were kind of like, oh, okay, I didn't think about it that way?
I think that there have been a few instances. One that's quite, you know, you guys have investigated more. I've only ever been there once, and I was actually gifted a book. And reading through this book and coming across all the information that was in there, and it led to something that happened to Amy, and she spoke about last time we were on about her flashlight and other little things that were going on in this location. I can mention it, can't I? The police museum.
So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I was given this book on permanent loan, and when we think about the things that we've picked up, or you guys have picked up at the police museum, this prankster, this entity, this spirit that's there that likes to do things, likes to touch hair, likes to play with flashlights, those sort of things. And then reading in this book about this person, and you're looking at it and you're looking at what's been going on, and you look at this person again and you go, oh my God.
Yeah.
So actually putting that forward to you guys, and then it going forward to the curators down there, I think that's kind of it's very satisfying to think that, you know, you've actually managed to put a name to possibly who's there, and that explains it. You know, that sort of reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's totally awesome. Agreed. Yeah.
Agreed. Can't argue that. Okay. Real dumb question.
There's no such thing as a dumb question.
Oh, yes, there is. If ghosts can walk through walls, right? Why do they, a lot of times you see them in doorways and stuff in haunted houses?
From my personal point of view, I think buildings change over time. If they're historical buildings, somebody might take out a wall here and put a door in, or they might take out a door and put a wall in, or a window. And if the spirit has died before all these renovations took place, is it just seeing that building, that doorway, as it was back in their day? Or is it a liminal space?
That's another subject. Okay, Mike, back to you.
All right, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna change it up and go to a silly question. You're probably gonna have a really quick answer to it. So Darryl, be prepared for your next question for Kay. If you could high five a ghost, do you think it would feel like a cold breeze, or absolutely nothing at all?
Cold breeze.
Okay. It's funny because the last investigation we did at the police museum, I actually tried to high five a ghost.
That's true. That's true.
And it didn't feel like anything. I don't know if I was being high fived back. So, but if it was a cool breeze, I could validate what you were just suggesting.
Yeah,
If it was a cool breeze, I had the tool for it.
You did. You had the flare.
No, the other one. Or no,
Right.
did I? Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I just didn't bring it out. I didn't bring it out.
Yeah, I can't remember now. But anyways,
Could have brought that in.
yeah, just a silly question for there.
All right. Where did I see this here? Give me 1 second here. I just had it here for a minute. Okay, so
play with your dolly, Mike.
Based on your history of being involved with paranormal and the research aspect of it and all that kind of stuff, In your own opinion, how do you foresee the future of paranormal investigation and research going? What direction do you see it, or maybe do you even just hope to see it go?
That's difficult to say. I think sometimes it can be 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I think to a certain extent we've been flooded with different tools and gadgets and gimmicks to the point where these things are taking over, from using common sense, from using the good old-fashioned way. So I would like to think that at some point we reboot and go back to basics, because I think going back to basics is perhaps the way to go forward, and get rid of some of all the gimmicky stuff, and get back to our foundations. I hope that we can start to, with some of the modern technology as well, I hope we can start to find that evidence that we know is out there. I mean, we've experienced so many things, but we need more tangible proof that what we're experiencing is actually something paranormal, if you understand what I'm saying.
I think so. It was a loaded question. It really was a loaded question. All right, Mike, back to you.
Speaking of loaded questions, sometimes when because like again, we both use the same thing to try to generate these questions for UK, and
Yeah.
Darryl had an hour preparation. I had about 10 minutes preparation. I haven't even actually read through most of my questions. I'm kind of reading them as you're answering. I'm going, I don't know if I should ask her that one. But there's a couple that I've highlighted here. So do you think certain locations are more prone to paranormal activity than others?
No.
No? Do you want to
No.
elaborate more than no? We got an hour.
Any advance on no? No. I think we have it drilled into us that a haunted location has to be a spooky house, spooky castle, an old graveyard with mist rolling through it, that sort of thing. But it could be a modern condo. It could be something, a dealership, or you just don't know.
Yeah.
Because you don't know whether you're actually somebody's going to be fetching something into that location either. They might buy something that has an attachment to it. They might have an attachment. You just thought, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, like, just follow up to that, do you think it could be like movies and TV shows that kind of lead to that stereotype?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, even going back to Victorian times, they loved their spirituality and one thing and another. The ghost stories, the Christmas ghost stories, and they all was one dark, lonely night, or the moon was full. So you're given, you're almost given the scenario before you even start.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. All right. So you being from both the British side of things and been in Canada for a long time, we are still considered a young country in comparison to most. In your time, at least from your consideration, like for what you've experienced and what you've run into, have you ever been able to debunk what would be considered a famous paranormal claim?
I think with looking at certain things, I mean, I've got a whole slew of paranormal books with pictures and one thing and another in. And I think going back to some of the earlier books, and you're looking at, I think there's one famous one. I mean, obviously I haven't debunked it, but there's one quite famous one. And people say, oh, it's Henry VIII coming out of Hampton Court Palace by the gates and all that. and it became very famous.
Mhm.
But I think it's only been in the last 5 years or so, it was actually debunked.
Oh, really?
So there's certain ones like that. People are going back and they're re-looking at what it could have been now from with having modern technology, modern perspective on things, and they're actually managing to debunk some of the older things that perhaps we didn't know, like EMF, right? I mean, we understand EMF and how it can possibly affect the brain and one thing and another, hallucinations, but going back when the electronics first started and people started having experiences, it's changed. It's changed over time. We can now look back and go, oh well, that was was doing this, or it was because of that. Carbon monoxide's another one. These, as we start to learn, we start to debunk things as we're going. We know what to look for.
But for yourself,
For myself,
have you ever looked at something, even maybe not famous though, and actually said, you know what, no, this is 100% debunked?
Yes, I have. And I got into trouble for it.
You got in trouble for it?
I got into trouble for it. I was with my friend Jeff, and we went down to San Francisco, and we went down for a day down to the Winchester Mystery House, and they have this in one of the rooms. They have this photograph of a ghost in the window, and I looked at it, and I looked out into the garden, and there's all these statues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at this and I went, that's that statue. It's a reflection. No, it's not. It's and even when I came home and I looked into it, it's that statue. You can see it. You can see the outline. So, yeah, I got into trouble for that one. I got ushered out of the room.
Bad girl.
You troublesome girl.
That's cool though. That's cool.
I forgot about that one.
All right, Mike, back to you.
Before I ask my actual next question, how does when something's debunked, like Darryl has just described and what you just found, how does that make you feel at the end of it all? Like, are you more inclined to keep digging further, or are you kind of like proud of it? Like, how does it all make you feel? The way you answer that is perfect. Okay, I'm going to the silly bin here. If ghosts had to follow workplace rules, what's one policy you would put in place?
God, I won't remember asked that. Jeez.
I know you've had a lot of different things happen to you on investigation, some of them a little more painful than others.
If you can make something move, then you can push a broom.
I agree 100%.
Right. Do the dishes, damn it. Do the dishes.
You can do that. You can do that.
That's right. You can pick up that dog poop. I don't want to do that anymore.
If you're gonna haunt my house, at least pay some rent. Come on. No doubt. Oh my Lord. Where was I now? Oh my God, that was a good one. Give me a second here, folks. I gotta look for one. That's why I asked for 15 plus 5 silly. So I got 20 questions. I did skip a couple, but
okay. If you could investigate any historical location anywhere in the world, what would it be and why?
The Island of Dolls in Mexico.
I agree with that, man. I was like, I was going to look at it this way, and I realized I got to look that way. But what? And Why?
I can't remember what.
Uh-oh. Annabelle looks a lot better than some of those island dolls, I'll tell you though.
I was watching, I can't remember whether it was Expedition Unknown or Expedition X. It was X, and they actually brought in Jason Hawes to it as well. And it just looked so damn cool. And the stuff that was going on, it was yeah, I want to go down there because it's one of those places as well that hasn't been overdone, you know, like maybe like Waverley or something like that. It's every man and his dog goes there. I'd like to go there, don't get me wrong, but I think the island of the dolls down there in Mexico, I think that's just one cool place that not many people get access to. So yeah, I'd like to go there.
Cool. All right.
Cool one for sure. Yeah, I never actually considered that. I know I've been asked that question by others, and it's kind of my answer always seems to change by the day.
Yeah. I have one, but I'm not going to say it in case I'm asked down the line.
I know, right? When it comes to our turn, that may be one of our questions. So I gotta keep my answers to myself too.
All right, Mike, you're up.
Okay. Have you ever had a location that made you reconsider what you believe in terms of the paranormal? Whether it's you believe stronger or you believe less based on the location?
No, I don't think so. I think, I mean, I've gone to some places and nothing's ever happened, and you come away and you review and nothing happened. But that doesn't mean to say that there isn't anything there.
Mm-hmm.
It just means that it wasn't playing that night, or you were asking the wrong questions, or it was off doing something else, you know, with whatever. So no, I don't think anything has ever put me sort of off the trail.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I had a question in mind, but I'm going to change that. What the hell was I going to say now? Short-term memory loss. Oh my God. No. You hit on it there, and I had it right on the tip of my tongue. I thought I should ask that, and now I can't remember what the hell I was going to ask. It'll come to me. Yeah, it'll come to me. There's something about what you said, and it kind of dinged, and then I just thought about it, and it went a little butterfly gone. Okay, I'll go back to my original question. Never mind. Have you ever, in all your investigation years, have you ever mistaken something completely normal for something paranormal?
Oh, hell yes.
Example?
was just going to say example.
I think when I was first starting, every knock, bang, creak was paranormal, right? You know, so if a door went, it had to be a ghost. It couldn't have been you standing on a floor joist and the door just moving, or a piece of, you know, wind or something like that. It had to be paranormal. So I think it's that as you move along, you learn to differentiate between the paranormal and normal.
Okay. All right.
No.
But it's not like one instance or anything that stands out.
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Maybe it'll come to you. All right.
We like to sweep them under the rug, don't we, Kay?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's like,
that's
didn't
what I did with
happen.
that thought. Hang on. No.
I think we've all had that happen where we're kind of like, yeah, I thought that was something more than it really was.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
No doubt.
And if anyone ever brings it up again.
All right, Mr. Mike, back to you.
Have you ever encountered a spirit or ghost, because I know people like to use the term differently, that had a clear message either for you, for the client, whatever, or a purpose?
I think that the thing that jumps to mind, it was a message. I mean, it was definitely giving a very firm message. We're in a location, and actually Karen was with me at this time, and we were upstairs in this room, and I'd said to the ether, everyone's coming back to my room a bit later on for a glass of wine. Would you like to join us? And we all heard it. No. Male voice. And when you actually stop and you thought about the location, it was, yeah, maybe should have asked for a shot of whiskey or something like that. Glass of wine with a clientele wouldn't have gone down very well. So, and it was like, no, bloody girly drink, you know, who the hell do you think I am?
Yeah, no, I'm not a wino.
That was definitely a message. And yeah.
Yeah, cool. It's fun
cool.
it's fun to reminisce about these, like when you get asked these questions and you kind of think back to the paranormal memory bank, so to speak, and you kind of go, oh yeah, I remember that. Is it, like, as I ask them, because I know which investigation, what place you're talking about, and I'm replaying it in my head too. So it's almost fun to go back to these moments, right? So I think it's
absolutely.
a lot of fun. Yeah.
Speaking of, I mean, I think I got a little glitch. Just a minute. That was it was a glitch. It was a glitch. Sorry, folks. It was a glitch. Don't know where that glitch is coming from. Anyway.
It's coming north of the 49th.
We're going to get back to this. Okay. Okay. So if you were to look at a specific period in time or a specific time period frame, which do you think would have the most, or be considered to have the most paranormal activity tied to it?
I think Victorian times seems to be one of those cliche periods of time. Civil War, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah, those two sort of seem to stick out most. In England, you're probably going to be looking Victorian again, or perhaps even medieval.
Reason why is just because of the history, because I know, like, from what you just mentioned, it really does tie into, I guess, the tragedies of the time.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, are you associating tragedies with the increase of paranormal activity?
I think you do. I think, you know, I mean, you take somewhere like Gettysburg, right? So you've got that whole Civil War thing going on. So there's bound to be ghosts. It's got to be ghosts. You know, all these people died. There's got to be ghosts. You look at maybe the Tower of London, right? You know, I mean, Henry was chopping everybody's head off left, right, and centre, and so you've got the whole Tudor period going on. It's bound to be ghosts. You know, I mean, a lot of people died. I had one very strange experience when I was 12 years old, and we were going to Scotland. We were going to the Isle of Skye on family holiday, and we stopped over on Culloden Moor.
Did you say Culloden?
Culloden Moor. So you're looking at big battle that went on there with the Scottish and the British and the clans. And I was about 11. So I wasn't really too much into the history of things. But I remember being in the, we had one of the old Volkswagen caravans, right? And I remember lying there at night and I could distinctly hear the sound of tramping feet and the sound of like swords.
Oh, wow.
And it was eerie, and I didn't understand it. I mean, I was a kid. I didn't understand it. But when I spoke to family in the morning and said I heard a really strange noise last night, they all got strange looks. And well, that's interesting. Do you know what happened on here? No. And then I was told about the whole battlefield. And so a lot of other people, you take them to Scotland, you take them in that area, and they're immediately going to say, oh, the Battle of Culloden. Yeah, there's bound to be ghosts up there. So depending on the area you go to is awesome. Yeah, so I think it depends on the area that you go to. You immediately associate with paranormal that went on for that situation.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no,
A lot more to that answer than I expected. That's awesome.
It's interesting that the adults did not, like, either they didn't hear it or they refused to acknowledge that they heard it to you because you were a child.
Well, maybe
But
they
that's
didn't hear
really-
it though.
Maybe they didn't. I don't know, right? I know they say that children are more susceptible to hearing and seeing things than adults do.
Well, I know
do you
my hearing
think-
started to go.
Do you think possibly they could have heard it and just didn't want to frighten you because of your age?
With my family, I don't know, because we've all of us been very empaths. We're all weird. I mean, I can say that straight away. We're all weird. So I think we've all experienced things, especially in the house that I grew up in.
They all float down there. Oh
Georgie?
dear. Okay, I think
Hello,
Mike, was
Georgie.
that your question, or did you actually just follow up on the question?
No, I just followed up because it was something that came to my head while she was answering it. So
All right. Well, then it's your turn.
yeah. Okay, what's the weirdest or most awkward thing you've ever said to a ghost mid-investigation?
Oh, by the way, while she's thinking of that one, hello, Holly and Ken. Thank you for joining us. Oh my Lord.
Balls and Mike come to mind.
Oh wow.
That certain location again, Mike, and you'd put your balls on post-its. And I invited whatever. If you want to play with Mike's balls, you can.
I should have my balls here.
Sorry.
Oh dear. Oh yes, Mike's balls. The most famous set of famous trio of balls you'll ever find in the paranormal field. Oh Lord, I'll tell
Who
you.
knew when I bought those balls at a dollar store in Merritt so many years ago that there'd be a butt of so many jokes years later?
Well, Karen just said, I'm not sure where this came from.
Can you?
Oh yeah.
I'm not even sure about that.
Yeah.
What did you do, Mike? And a song.
Can you?
Amy goes, and a song.
I've done a lot of stupid things on an investigation. Never mind my balls.
Help us, folks. Help us. Oh my
Do you remember
Lord.
the parrot though, Mike? Do you remember the EVP I caught with the parrot?
Oh God! Yes, I remember the.
It's a parrot, and he's no, it's not. It was a parrot. It was his nose.
There's obviously stories I have not heard.
I got tears in my eyes. Seriously, I have tears in my eyes. My nose sounds like a parrot, apparently.
So there you go. There's one thing I mistook for a ghost. It wasn't. It was Mike's nose, and I thought it was a parrot.
Kay's going, it's a parrot. I hear a parrot. I'm going, okay, it's my nose. I'm just breathing through my nose.
Oh man, I'll tell you. Oh. Poor Mike's done for the night. All right, Kay, tell you what, we're gonna throw a question your way while Mike straightens himself. Hey, you ready? You ready there, Mike? See, he can't hold the face. Oh my Lord.
It only took 45 minutes for it to go off the rails.
That's true. We did make it 45 minutes. Oh man. Oh. All right, Mike, I'll let you go. Go ahead.
Oh, it's my turn again? No, I just asked this one.
Oh, did you just ask a question? Okay. Okay, Kay. In
I'm looking at you.
In your opinion, other than the parrot, what is the most... I lost them both, folks. I lost them both. They're done. And if you're not laughing by now, I don't know what we can do. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna stick that beaver up pretty soon. Okay, in your opinion, what is the most convincing piece of evidence that you've ever seen that you would be considered ghostly or paranormal?
Oh, that I've ever seen. I think do you remember the little car that we actually caught on camera?
You mean the one I mentioned earlier on Facebook? That one?
Do you remember that, Darryl?
It moved forward and it moved back.
Well, I don't know if it actually moved forward, but I knew it moved back.
Yeah,
I know it
think
moved back.
watching that, the door at Hell's Gate. That was, I mean, if that wasn't paranormal, it needs an awful lot more investigation. I think that there's been so many strange things that we've all seen and experienced. It's hard to just pinpoint one.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. All right, Mike. Mike.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Is there a location that you refuse to ever go back to because of what you've experienced?
No.
Okay. And why?
Obviously there are locations that I would never do.
Mm-hmm.
I would never go to, but for investigations ones, no. I'd go back to any of them anytime.
For sure. Yeah. I'm with you on that too, I think. Yeah. Makes sense.
All right. Okay. Is there any is there any one time that you would like to focus on either a specific aspect, event, or theory at a location? Like, is there any place where you'd like to narrow in on one particular thing?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's at Yale.
Yale.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be in a certain location on my own and have a one-on-one with a certain person.
Now you're trying to find out more about that male name, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Okay. So
I think
we should tell people, I'm like, not the name, but the reason why you're not mentioning the particular name. Just say that it was, we'll say it was a tragic event.
it was a very tragic event.
Mhm.
And this one person has always been portrayed in an extremely evil light, let's say. And I'm not condoning what he did. What he did was terrible. It was awful. But I would like to find out other aspects to this person.
Like his proper name.
Yeah.
His correct name,
Yeah.
what happened to him afterwards. I've managed to research so far, and then I've come up with dead ends.
Mhm.
And I don't think they are dead ends. I just think I've been stopped.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can't go any further. There's no way, and I've tried every which way, and I can't go any further. So I would like to get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, if I could. I think I have a connection there. I think with other investigations that you guys have done, there was one particular one where I came in on the phone and I was asking questions. And Darryl, you actually stopped me and you said, I think said person could be here.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. Interesting. Well, we'll have
Yeah.
to work on getting you down there one day, Kay.
Mhm.
Right.
And I'm not going to say I'm going to be happy with it. I could be quite nervous with it, but I want to do it.
Mhm.
Oh, that's all right. We'll stick a camera on you
Understandable.
and we can leave you all by yourself.
Mm.
I mean, we won't be that far away. I mean, we can run humble very, very fairly quickly. Yeah. Okay. Mike, back to you.
Okay, this one's a little bit thought-provoking, so my apologies because it's getting close to the end of the show. If we as paranormal investigators could definitively prove the existence of an afterlife, how do you think it would change the way that we currently live our lives? Because so many people live their lives as if, we're not granted tomorrow. There's nothing left. Like once we die, that's it. But if we could prove there's something afterwards, do you think it would change the way we live our lives now?
Yes. Yeah.
And on to you, Darryl.
Yes. Yes, she says yes. That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mike,
so
you gotta stop asking these yes or no questions.
Okay, next time I'll say, don't give me questions that can be answered with yes.
I like to use a lot of movies and books and things like that when I'm describing things. And what you said, it just reminded me of an old movie. I don't know whether you ever remember. It's called Logan's Run.
Yeah.
In that movie, everybody got to the age of 30 and then they went off to the happy land, right? They sort of went in a poof of whatever. Basically, they were being murdered, right? So the only people that were left were everybody below 30. And everybody, once you got to 30, you were removed. And they went outside anyway. Long story short, they go outside the city and they actually find an old man in a library. And they've never ever seen an old person before. So I think for us to find out what the afterlife is like, it would be like seeing that old person. There's something beyond what we didn't know about. It's been kept from us. So, yeah, most definitely. I think it would change the way what we do today, because it could affect what happens when we pass on, or
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. I know a lot of people live like, there is no tomorrow. Others kind of live their lives like they feel like they're going to live forever. So it's but if you knew that there was something more, right? It's kind of like I could totally understand that too, where it's like, yeah, of course my thinking would be different, but would it change my way of life? Maybe not. I don't know. But it's something that as I was reading it, I'm like, oh, that's really interesting because I hadn't really thought about it. So interesting.
I got one quick question because we're getting really close to the end of the show.
Yeah.
Do you feel that spirits and ghosts from various different ages actually are able to interact with one another?
I don't know.
Oh, it's more than a no or yes.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, if they can interact with us, and it all goes back to my Venn diagram, you know, you've got the befores, the nows, and the in the future, and we being in the middle can interact with those that from our past. But my theory is that shadow people are from the future and we can interact with them. But is it just a full loop? Is it just something that goes round and round and round?
That gets back to we've dealt with time before, haven't we, Mike? Yeah.
Timeless time over time.
That's right. I think we are better. We are more of a doctor. What is it? Doctor
Doctor
No,
Who?
we are more like Doctor Strange than anything. I mean, we just endless loop time, as he says, right? All right. Well, you know what? We're like pretty well right at the end of our show. Okay. Mike, any last questions for?
I got one more. Okay.
All right, go for it.
And it's a quick question. No pressure. If you could bring back one historical figure as a ghost hunting sidekick.
Oh, wow. I love
not
that.
Someone you could investigate, someone that would investigate with you.
Who
Who would it be and why?
Nikola Tesla.
And why?
Wow. Why?
I just think he was just phenomenal. And he had so much to offer the future, and it was denied him so much. I think he would have an extraordinary way of reaching out and finding what we're looking for.
Very, very cool. I like that. I would have picked
Scooby-Doo. That answer, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I would have picked Scooby-Doo.
Of course you would. A talking Great Dane. That doesn't surprise me with you.
You got it.
Talking cartoon Great Dane.
If anything, I'd be getting a lot of weight on all those Scooby snacks.
You know they're laced with something, right, Darryl?
No. Exactly. Oh my Lord. Well, okay. I guess all we can say is thank you very much for again being a part of Off the Cuff Paranormal. This time around, we did throw some curveballs at you, but you.
That's all right. I'm going to throw them at you.
Handled it like a pro. And we'd like to thank you, and oh yes, of course, Annabelle. For being a part of the show. And we hope again to have you back for another run down the line and in the future. So
down that rabbit hole. Yeah.
So thank you very much. And Mike, any last things?
No, it's just been a pleasure catching up with UK as always.
Always.
You know, like Darryl said, this is a little bit different format. You know, it's not one theme, so it's kind of like Jeopardy for paranormal, but you don't have to answer in the form of a question. So I think this was a lot of fun.
Right.
Looked at it.
Thanks for joining us.
You're very
Absolutely. Welcome. It's been a blast, and for everybody else, we only have one last word for you. There you go. We love you all. Take care. Have an awesome evening, and good night, everybody. For myself, Darryl,
me and her,
and me and them.
That's right. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
away.